and keep saying something. So I don't know what's wrong. And it's a very safe way of quitting a meeting you don't like.
Okay.
Yeah, genau.
So gestern waren Sie auch bei einer,
And then you,
hello, sir, can you hear me?
first then, of course I can hear you. I can see you
Okay.
also. Well, actually, no, but yes.
No,
Yeah.
no, gestern haben Sie gesagt, Sie haben ein Seminar, Sie waren bei einer Seminar, ja?
Ja, das war ein Eröffnungstag in Malappuram in Kerala und da war ich auch als Gast da. Ja.
Ah, okay.
Warst du auch dabei? Were you there?
No, no.
Malappuram Gold.
Yeah, Malappuram, Kerala.
Yeah.
So there was a inauguration of a new institute, Deutsch Institute.
Okay.
So one of my students is the in charge of that institute. It belongs to the Madin Academy. It's a very big,
Zubair, sir?
yeah, Zubair, genau, by Zubair.
Okay.
So I was there with
So,
him yesterday.
so weren't they physician or online? Dot
Online, online, online,
online.
online.
Oh, online.
Okay.
He wanted me to inaugurate his Deutsch Institute. So he called his chairperson of that entire academy, Madin Academy. They have 25,000 students there, 17 organizations, 25,000 students.
In
Wow, sir.
Kerala. In
Yeah,
Kerala.
Malappuram. It's a Muslim academy.
So
Uh-huh.
what's the name of the academy?
Madin, M-A with an apostrophe D-I-N, Madin Academy.
Madin Academy.
Oh, it's huge, huge, really huge.
Oh,
They already have a Spanish academy. They have Arabic, and oh, they have the amount of facilities they have, the amount of money they're getting. Oh my God, awesome. So anyway, it was just a small inaugural speech I had to give. So even Dave was there.
Yes.
Dave and Subair, they are fellow classmates.
Right.
So he was also there. So I had to give a small inaugural speech, and that was fun. I
So
enjoyed that.
Dev sir runs a newspaper also, right, in Jaipur?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Why don't you people
Oh,
contribute to that?
Yeah,
Varun is
actually, sir, even it is a very sad part that I didn't even take one participation in this Tamish one. I always thought I should, but ho nahi pata.
Write, write on something of interest. Pick up a festival, Indian festival maybe. Write
Yeah.
about that.
But he not, I mean, like he'll, like if we, let's suppose we four write it down, so he like
Hmm?
shortlist, na, because there's so many people who write, na, he can't just put it everywhere.
yeah.
Right, he
Believe
shortlisted
me,
it then.
preference will be given to the students of the academy.
Okay.
So don't worry on that. You can write it there. There's also another paper which is published from Jaipur called English Post.
Yes, sir, I heard it.
And that's by
Funny.
Dilip. He sent me a copy sometime back. This is the one that it looks like, the English Post.
Is this out from e-language studio?
No, no, this is by a person called Dilip Sinsinwar, who is also a student of mine. He's also Jaipur based.
Sir, Gyanshala Dilip, sir. Mr. Dilip.
I
Das
think
gehört
Gyanshala.
ihm.
Yeah, vielleicht, Gyanshala. I don't remember. My fault. Don't tell him I forgot. Huh? You'll feel very bad. So,
And one
I
out leise letter, sir.
Sir,
yeah, vielleicht. Yeah, vielleicht. So, yeah, this is the one.
yeah, ich kann sehen, yeah. Okay.
There's also an e-copy of this.
Okay, sir.
So you have to write to him. If you write to him, you'll get it. He's the redactor, and also Neeraj Pant.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Sir, Chandigarh.
Oh,
Aus
Chandigarh.
Chandigarh.
yeah, of Chandigarh. Based out in redactor.
Ist auch dein Student?
Neeraj, ja, indirekt, ja. Hat Emma in Dharwad gemacht und ich habe ihn, also da, war Prüfling da und ich war dann der Prüfer, mündliche Prüfung. I took his Viva examination for the MA exam there. He had to give a demo class, and I had asked him questions on the theory and the practical part of the class.
Ja. Sir, er hat ja meisten deutsche Übungen aus Deutschland gemacht.
Who?
Sir Neeraj. He did his C1, C2 from Germany. That's
Is
what
it?
he's mentioning. He mentioned that on LinkedIn. I don't know.
I don't know. He speaks fairly well, but then he is not that C1, C2 level.
No, but he mentioned that on LinkedIn. I added him on LinkedIn. No, that's why I know. That's why I know that he's working in German house as well.
Is it?
That's
Well,
why.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm slightly surprised because his German vocabulary is quite ordinary.
yeah, might be
Yes.
right. But that's what he mentioned there. He
Ganz
mentioned there
normal.
that
Also, ordinary,
he did,
da meine ich dann, ist ganz normal eigentlich.
yeah.
Nothing spectacular there in the vocabulary. Not a C2 level, definitely not. If you want, this is www.indishapost.com.
Okay, sir.
You can write to Dilip and he'll send it to you. Give my name, give my reference, and he'll send you a copy. You can, by the way, you can submit articles here also. Ja, hier kann man auch dann etwas dann beitragen. You can contribute here. You also print, no problem. Okay.
Ist sicher. Indische Post, Deutsch-Zeitung, Indien.
Hey, hello.
Es gibt schon India Post. Now is not an Indische Post.
Indische Post, das ist auf Deutsch. India Post ist Englisch.
Ja. Gleiche
So,
Name.
Leute. Now, there's something which forces me to leave you people im Stich lassen, Aditi.
Yes, sir. That's
Ich
why I
lasse
texted.
euch jetzt momentan im Stich.
Okay.
Meine Frau ruft mich. Also ich muss mir meinen Tee holen und ich komme gleich. Inzwischen lesen wir diesen Text und versuchen, den Text zu verstehen und den Text mit eigenen Worten zusammenzufassen. Also los geht's. Ja,
Arbeit books, right, sir? Is
das ist das Arbeitsbuch. Richtig,
Yeah,
stimmt.
okay.
Wurdest du auch eigenes Institut öffnen, Aditi?
Nein, noch nicht. Ich habe
Okay.
nicht, ich habe nicht so viel Erfahrung.
Okay, aber in Delhi gibt es wenige Institute, ja?
Ja, das stimmt. Also, aber ich habe darüber noch nicht gedacht. Ich unterrichte, es ist ja nicht, ich unterrichte fast einem Jahr jetzt, ja?
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Ich bin ja wieder da. Also, Prost.
Mit deinem Tee oder Kaffee? Mit ihrem Tee oder Kaffee?
Tee mit Ingwer.
Ingwer heißt?
Ingwer, Ginger.
Ginger.
Also, okay.
Adrak wali Chai.
Das ist die beste.
Ja, das Wetter ist auch sehr, sehr angenehm. Seit 3 Tagen regnet es hier.
Es ist sehr heiß hier. Sehr schlecht Wetter.
Also schlechtes Wetter ist es noch.
Yes, sir. Schlechtes Wetter bei Punjab.
Ja, bei herzlichen Leuten, bei warmen Leuten gibt es auch solches Wetter. Ne? We are very cold here. Very cold-blooded people. So ist es eher ein bisschen kälter. Also, wer möchte damit beginnen? Aus Lust an der Lüge.
Darf ich?
Ja, bitte.
Es behandelte und operierte und flog nur durch einen enormen Hinweis auf. Er war erst 29 Jahre alt, als er 2 Doktortitel vorweisen konnte und exakt 196 Operationen durchgeführt hatte. Dann war die Traumkarriere des Christian E. vorbei. Der Anfang vom Ende war ein enormer Brief an die Polizei, Then war
Entschuldigung. Ja.
dann war die Traumkarriere, nein, der Ermittlung auslöste. Ungeheuerliches kam zutage. Christian E. besaß ein Abiturzeugnis mit den Noten 1,3, einer Promotionurkunde, die ihn zum Doktor der Medien der renommierten Universität in Oxford machte, eine Approbationurkunde der Regierung in Mittelfranken und obendrein eine Doktorurkunde der Wissenschaftlichen Fakultät der Uni Frankfurt.
Ja, danke, danke Aditi, gut gelesen. Ein paar Stolpersteine gab es hier, aber dann ist es okay. Stolpern, to stumble. Ladkrana. Ne, Tokarkhana, das ist dann Stolpern.
STOLPER.
Ja, Stolpern, P-E-R-N, P-I-R-N. Ja? Und Stolpersteine bedeutet also Hindernisse, some kind of obstructions over which you stumble. Right? Some stumbling block, ne? Something that blocks the flow. There are a couple of words here. Aber das ist okay. Das ist nicht so groß hier. Now, what we have here is a very interesting text. Natürlich, das hat etwas mit Kriminalität zu tun. Er behandelte und operierte, also diese Person, und flog nur durch einen anonymen Hinweis auf. Also jemand hat anonym der Polizei berichtet und natürlich, er musste dann wegfliehen. So, was bedeutet hier dann das Wort auffliegen?
Fliegen bedeutet run away, ja.
Nein.
Fliegen, fly.
Sein Schwindel wurde aufgeflogen.
Come out. It has come out.
Auf diese Weise.
Blown out.
Blow out. It was burst open. Also er hat einen sehr großen Schwindel gemacht. The entire schwindel, this fooling work, was busted open mittels einen anonymen Hinweis. Through an anonymous information. Er behandelte und operierte.
So behandle heißt treatment, right?
Ja. Also er hat Patienten behandelt und auch operiert.
Okay.
Er war erst 29 Jahre alt, als er 2 Doktortitel vorweisen konnte. Also aus dem Kontext könnt ihr mir sagen, was bedeutet denn vorweisen?
Proof.
Well done. Produce. Show. 2 Doktortitel.
Ja. Er kann 2 Doktortitel zeigen.
Ja. And just think, in Deutschland ist es nicht so einfach. Man legt das Abitur mit 19 ab. Stimmt? Das Abitur legte man mit 19 ab. At the age of 19, you finish your Abitur.
Sir, Abitur is your graduation?
It's a school leaving exam.
So it's like our 12th?
Yeah, supposedly like R12, but they have 13 years of schooling. And if my information serves me correct, wenn ich mich nicht irre, jetzt gibt es in vielen Bundesländern nur bis auf die 12. Klasse.
So was ist Abitur, sir?
Also das Schulabschlussprüfung.
Yeah, so because in Leo Dictionary, it is your either training or internship.
They don't have an equivalent. They don't have an equivalent. That's why they have given an either or.
Okay, sir.
Remember, Abitur ist eine deutsche Prüfung und wir haben auch das englische System bei uns.
Hm.
Und das englische Bildungssystem, also das Bildungssystem in England, ist ganz anders als das Bildungssystem hier in Indien oder in Deutschland. They also have an A level and O level in English in England.
A level, O level.
We don't have that system here. We don't have that system here.
Mhm. Okay.
But our educational system is what the British left us and then modified theirs. Whereas we are happy with what we got as a free gift from the Britishers, and we are still continuing with that system. Not only that, our educational policy makers also want to have a system which will enable our students to gain direct admission to America. That was the reason given in the parliament. And the new policy is going to come into force very soon. They want to gear the students here to go and study in America.
In America, or
Yeah.
it's abroad studies.
That was a statement given in the parliament. So very happily, we can shut down all our IITs and all our IIMs and institutes of higher education. We don't need
Bad.
them. I mean, this was a statement made in the parliament, Indian parliament.
So why they can choose IIM or IIT? How? What is the reason behind that?
Why do we need them? When you're training your students or you're preparing your students to study abroad, why do we need them here in our country?
It's in a sarcastic way.
Okay, it was in a sarcastic way. Okay.
I mean, das verstehe ich nicht. The new education policies, you have to go through that, NEP. You type that and just please go through that. So our system is different. So coming back to zum Thema, zurück zum Thema. Also ein äquivalentes Wort dafür finden wir bei uns gar nicht. Und da wir auch Englisch benutzen, das ist dann auch doppelt so schwer. So this is like school leaving. Also bei uns ist das dann, wie heißt denn das? Secondary, Senior Secondary, +2,
Yes, sir.
12, Class 12.
Yes, sir.
Und in Deutschland hat man dann Abitur, also das Schulabschluss, das dauert 13 Jahre.
Okay.
It's 13 years of schooling in Germany.
So
And any-
Abitur is the dry center cluster. Dry center cluster.
That's interclass. This is like our school of 12. Theirs is 13. And, and they start at the age of 6. Das ist dann obligatorisch. Mit 6 Jahren beginnt man die richtige Schule zu besuchen. Mit 6. At the age of 6, you're admitted formally to a school, not before that.
In India, 5.
2.5.
Two
That
and a
is
half.
2.5
But
for the pre, for the pre,
kindergarten.
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 By the age of 5 or
Yes.
6, your child is already in class 2.
Yeah, or it can be first also. First.
Yeah, first.
My daughter was in class 2.
So sir, was is Grundschule auf Deutsch? Kindergarten?
Yeah,
No,
I think so.
no, kindergarten is before that.
Okay.
Grundschule
Grundschule ist 1
ist
to 5.
mit 6 Jahren. Mit 6 Jahren beginnt man die Grundschule zu besuchen.
Class
At the
1.
age of 6.
Primary education.
That's the primary school.
Primary
Basic
school.
school. The primary school or the basic school. Class 1. Till then, there's only kindergarten. Till the age of 5. And kindergarten is privat.
Okay, sir.
It's not a government funded thing. It's a privat funded. Man darf oder man darf nicht die Kinder in den Kindergarten schicken. Aber sobald ein Kind 6 Jahre alt ist, gibt es keine Alternative und die Eltern dürfen das Kind nicht zu Hause behalten. Any child who has attained the age of 6 is bound by law to go to school, to be sent to school. Das ist deutsche,
Wenn nicht,
ja?
wenn die Eltern die Kinder zur Schule nicht bringen, dann?
Strafe. Sie werden bestraft.
Okay.
Und dass das Kind nicht dazu fähig ist, ist keine Ausrede. It's not an excuse.
Okay.
Da gibt es auch Sonderschulen für solche Kinder, die nicht also geistig fähig sind oder körperlich fähig sind, in die Schule zu gehen. Da gibt es Sonderschulen für solche Kinder. Aber in die Schule muss die Kinder gehen. Das Kind darf nicht zu Hause bleiben. Egal, was für eine Fähigkeit er besitzt oder es besitzt. So education is compulsory for all. Erstens. Und zweitens, bis auf die höchsten Stufen ist Bildung auf Kosten der Stadt oder auf Kosten der Regierung. Also, die Kinder brauchen keine Gebühren zu zahlen. They don't need to pay any fee.
Es ist kostenlos, ja.
Kostenlos. Genau. Till the higher levels. Sobald man an die Universität eintritt, muss man dann ein bisschen als Geld zahlen, zum Beispiel also die Sozialversicherungskosten, also die Kosten für die Bücher, dann man trägt auch die Kosten für die Wohnung dann auf sich. So those costs add up, but the tuition fee still is not there. Again, having said that, recently I think Baden-Württemberg und noch ein Bundesland, Mecklenburg, glaube ich.
Mecklenburg.
I think so. I have to check that information. They are charging Gebühren, tuition fee now.
So, what is the Hauptstadt from Mecklenburg?
Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, this is, I think, Potsdam.
So,
Yeah, I think they are charging fees now, tuition fee. And slowly the other universities will also charge fees because education is a right in Germany. And that right has been extended to foreigners also.
super.
So, but they have realized that with that free education thing, it's not working very well. On die Universitäten brauchen auch ein bisschen Geld. Also, I think 500 Euro is the fee they are charging now, which is a paltry sum compared to thousands which are charged in other countries. That information I've not checked up, I've not bothered very much. So my fault, I'll check up and get back to you on that. So that is a totally different system. Es gibt verschiedene Wege hier. Es gibt auch dann die Realschule. Also Grundschule ist für alle. Dann kommt die Realschule, das Gymnasium und dann auch die Volksschule. There are 3 different streams there. They all offer the same syllabus, but intensity in das Abitur, in das Gymnasium, also ich gehe auf das Gymnasium, heißt das, nicht in das Gymnasium, auf das Gymnasium. And this gymnasium is your really intensive study. Und dieser Weg dauert dann 13 Jahre. Realschule dauert etwa 10 Jahre und nach 10 Jahren kann man die Schule verlassen und dann auch in die Fachschule oder Fachhochschule oder eine Ausbildung machen oder machen lassen. There is a lateral movement between the Realschule, Volksschule, and this, what is it called, Gymnasium, lateral movement, depending on your aptitude. Es gibt Berater, Schulberater in der Schule, sie beraten die Kinder, ob sie gut geeignet sind für diese Stufe. Wenn nicht, es wird empfohlen, bitte geh mal in die Realschule. Du kannst das Gymnasium hier nicht aushalten. Die Eltern werden dann darüber informiert und das Kind wird dann in die Realschule geschickt. You are not cut out for this kind of studies. It's very intensive. Your aptitude is here. I suggest you go to the Realschule. And the parents follow the advice of this Berater or a Beraterin and then move the child to the Realschule. Syllabus is the same, like I said, but less intensive. So there's no question of forcing. Your great-grandfather was an engineer. Your grandfather was an engineer. Your father is an engineer. You have to be an engineer. Otherwise, go die somewhere. You're not my son. So is this in India. So you have to follow what your father did or what your father could not achieve. All my life, I wanted to be a doctor. I could not become a doctor. So my son, you have to become a doctor. The son is not interested in medicine. He hates the sight of blood. He doesn't want to see anything like that. No, you have to become a doctor. You have to fulfill my dream. So it's a totally different system in Deutschland. But Abitur is the toughest. That's the toughest exam. It's a Staatsprüfung and a very tough exam. So when a German student says, also, ich mache Abitur, that means that poor student is stressed out totally. Nach der Abitur natürlich gehen die meisten Studenten an die Uni. They are those very good ones. They go straight into the university. Whereas the Realschule people, they get into a job first. Also eine Ausbildung machen sie irgendwo. Or they go to the Fachhochschule oder Fachschule. A Fachhochschule oder eine technische Universität. Da bekommen sie dann ein Diplom. Although it is a university, a technische University or a Fachhochschule, by law, again, they are not entitled to issue a degree. They can only issue a kind of a diploma in engineering. It's called Diplom Ingenieur. Whereas if you go to a university proper and become an engineer there, you get a grad. B.Tech, M.Tech, BSc, MSc. So you get a baccalaureus or ein master's grad. So only a university can issue degrees. Und dann zweitens, ganz kurz, alle Universitäten in Deutschland, alle Universitäten, und das ist meine Meinung und ich bleibe dabei, haben die gleiche Ranking. The ranking is the same. Yep, same ranking. That's my personal opinion. You don't have to believe it.
Sir, what is that? Sorry.
Es gibt auch eine Auflistung von den Universitäten. Diese Universität ist Nummer 1, diese ist Nummer 2. Also dieser Ranking gibt es da. Rang.
Da gibt es Ranking überhaupt nicht, ja?
Yeah, also in my opinion, there is no such thing as a ranking.
Okay.
It doesn't exist for me. Why?
Weil die Qualität ist sehr hoch.
Die Qualität ist gleich.
Hmm.
If you want to teach at a university, Aditi, or if I want to teach at a German university, I must first have a doctorate, PhD, in that subject that I'm teaching first. Then, in order to get into the university, that doctorate alone is not enough. I have to get through 2 Staatsexamen and an interview to be appointed at a university. Once I'm through with my PhD, Staatsexamen and the interview, then I get the post, which means by the time I join a university, I'm somewhere in the region of 28, 29 years old.
Yes, sir.
Okay? And without a PhD, since you cannot teach, and a PhD in Germany in that subject means you're a master of that subject. Again, reason why. Een PhD dauert etwa 4 bis 5 Jahre, manchmal aber 3 bis 4 normalerweise. 3 to 4 years. It's a topic that you have to choose yourself, you have to work on. Although on paper, da gibt es einen Doktorvater oder eine Doktormutter im Hintergrund, Supervisor. It could be a lady or it could be a professor male. Supervisor, inverted commas, Doktorvater. He or she never helps you. Never. Every damn thing you have to do yourself in that dissertation that you're doing or writing. If you are working on some project, the results of that project you have to analyze, do everything yourself, present to him, he'll have a look at it. Sehr schön. Das ist wirklich wunderbar. Aber da fehlt hier etwas, ja? Noch einmal, also Sie müssen das noch einmal machen.
Okay.
Was denn bitte? Herr Professor, was soll ich denn nochmal machen? Ah ja, das Experiment natürlich. Diese Daten stimmen nicht. Also Sie müssen das noch einmal machen. Aber wo liegt der Fehler? Ah, eine gute Frage, ja? Wenn Sie das selber analysieren, finden Sie den Fehler auch selbst heraus. Analyze it once again, you'll find it yourself. So, wir treffen uns dann, also vielleicht, Moment mal, also nächsten Monat? Nein, nach 2 Monaten. Ja, nach 2 Monaten. So for that 2 months, he's not available or she's not available for you. Every single thing you have to do yourself. Yeah?
Das ist so unfair.
It's not unfair. They're teaching you how to research yourself. Why ungli pakad ke chalna? I like that system. I went through that. And it's because I went through that, I would like others to go through that system.
Okay.
My research guide was a lady, Professor Dr. Phil Habil Brigitta Spitzbart.
Yes.
And her husband, Professor Dr. Phil Habil Hari Spitzbart. Double habilitation. That means 3 PhDs. Brilliant couple. 60 plus 70. The Professor Harry died last year, unfortunately. And she is still around in Germany. They would always give me a beautiful cake whenever I went to their house here on campus. Look after me, give me tea, have a nice talk about this discussion, any new girlfriends you made, and ha ha ha, and all that kind of thing. Then she would go through my work, hand it back to me, and then tell me to see her after 10 days or whenever I was done. And I would ask her, what is wrong here? There would just be that hint of a smile on her face. Read it, you'll find it out yourself. And then Harry would come up, put his arms around my shoulder and say, ja, meine Frau, ja, sie ist immer so, auch ich habe das Problem, ja. Ja, so. And then he would escort me to the door. Bitte, ja, nochmal lesen. And then I'm sent home. There have been days I've gone on long walks out of sheer frustration for 3 to 4 hours in Hyderabad. Just walked aimlessly. And I was so happy when my final dissertation was accepted by her. And I was so exhausted that I did not even, I have the mood even to celebrate. Und am Ende konnte ich jedes Wort, jedes Komma in meiner Dissertation auswendig. Every word in my dissertation, including commas and full stops, I knew exactly where they were. And then the viva. After you submit your dissertation, there is a viva. A viva, PhD viva, also Doktorgrad viva in Germany is a public defense. Das bedeutet, man steht als Kandidat in der Aula auf dem Podium, auf der Bühne, you're standing on the podium. Your dissertation is not with you, your thesis is not with you. You're not allowed to hold it in your hands or refer to it. There's a gremium, Prüfungsgremium of examination committee on the stage, about 6 to 8 professors minimum from various universities on that topic. And the hall becomes full. It's in the hall, aula, the aula, basically auditorium. 400, 500 people, maybe, from all walks of life who have nothing to do with your subject. Die sitzen da. Dann kommen die Fragen zuerst von dem Gremium, from the committee, about what you wrote. Your own supervisor is also there, sitting in that. He does not offer a word of help or encouragement. Actually, what he meant was, or she meant was, I can say that on his behalf. Nothing. Then it goes over to the audience. The audience then questions you. They may be your subject expert sitting there, or there could be somebody from the industry, from various areas, or not a subject expert. Sie dürfen auch diese Fragen stellen. And you should be able to answer that question to their satisfaction, not to your satisfaction. And a PhD viva can last, while you're standing there all the time, can last something like 4 to 5 hours or even more. Believe it or not. 4 bis 5 Stunden.
Und sie stehen da nur in die Bühne.
Ja.
Ganz schwer.
You're allowed a break in between, also auf die Toilette, wenn man gehen muss, das ist dann erlaubt. So after 4, 5 hours, you yourself als Kandidat weiß ganz genau und weiß Bescheid, ich habe die Prüfung bestanden. You'll know that. That feeling is there. Everyone comes and congratulates you.
Okay.
So once you're done with your PhD, you've passed the exam. Let's think in that optimistic and positive manner. Once you have your PhD, there are 2 letters which come before your name, DR.
Yeah.
That DR is your name and not a title. And you have to be called in Germany as Dr. Aditi, not Aditi. Dr. Aditi, Dr. Abhi, Dr. Anchal, Dr. Anil. It's part of your name by law, by German law. It's not a degree. The amount of work that you put in for a PhD, the law says you're entitled to have that as your name. So with this PhD, if you're working in a university, just imagine all the professors at the university with a PhD, they have undergone this process. Now they're teaching at the university. So the quality, yeah, Abhi?
Promotion ist auch PhD? Promotion?
Ja.
Okay.
Promotion heißt?
Ja, sich promovieren, also ein Doktortitel erwerben. Promotionsarbeit is your dissertation work, research work. So if professors are working with a PhD at a university, just imagine the quality. It must be the same, very high quality. So why do you want a ranking of university? So the point of ranking is lost. Ranking is given here depending on the number of students there, the number of fellowships which one can get or one can apply for, the number of seats available and the number of courses and the number of interdisciplinary courses one can take. It has nothing to do with the standard or quality of education at that university. Many students of mine, I have to admit that regrettably, do not believe when I tell them this. Don't go by ranking. No, sir, this is the best university. What do you mean best university? You have just seen 3 names and you already decided it's the best. How many universities in the world have you seen to say that this is the best? No, my uncle told me. Ha ha. How many has your uncle seen? No, he heard from some colleague of his. This is the kind of information which is disseminated in India. So I normally advise people, please look for the university yourselves. Khud dhundo. Jetzt hat man diese Information kostenlos auf dem Internet. Und man soll in der Lage sein, das selber auszusuchen. What fits you, what suits you, you do. Und noch etwas ganz Wichtiges, und dann schließen wir das Thema hier ab. Ein PhD-Studium in Deutschland kann man machen, wenn der Professor dort Ja sagt. The admission to a PhD course is given by a professor and not by the university. Unlike India, where you have to apply for a PhD seat, then there's an entrance exam. You are admitted to the PhD course, after which you choose the professor, who should be your guide or who should be your supervisor. In Germany, you write to the supervisor or a hopeful supervisor first, present your case, synopsis, abstract, your proposal of the PhD topic you want to do. If the professor says yes, with that letter you write to the university administration. Also, hat ja gesagt, hier ist der Brief, bitte schön. Und dann bekommt man die Zulassung. Then you get admission. The professor has to say yes first. So it's a tough life to be a student of that level. But believe me, it's a great thing to do research in Germany.
So you
Sir,
have done
in
it
any
there
field,
only?
sir, in any field or your subject, related to your subject?
Any field, any field.
But it's great to do it in Germany.
One of the best academically.
Yeah.
Sir, which university, sir?
Choose your university. It's up to you, Avi.
Okay, sir.
Sir,
It's called Profis
Grundfrage.
University. Yeah, Anil.
Sir, Grundfrage, why and Varum and when I should go for PhD? Because it's a time consuming for 4 to 5 years. This is the
Hey,
frage.
listen,
Instead of that one,
Anil, don't think it's time consuming. Once you start your research, as a research scholar, on behalf of that professor, you can travel internationally and present papers. So you earn your recognition even before you submit your dissertation.
But how you will be allowed to travel international?
yeah.
PhD scholarship allows you that. Because it's the professor who decides, I can't go to Japan and I can't go to Korea. So you do the Korean thing. I'll take the Japanese thing because we are working on the same thing. So you write a paper, submit it, get his approval, go there and go to Korea.
And can it be done part-time or should I
No,
leave
it's full-time work. Oh, morning
No.
to evening. Oh, yes.
Then,
PhD is 24 by 7.
I have also the same question that Anil has asked. No, sometimes I also think, but I know that in order to do PhD, first have to get it done MA in German,
Yeah.
right? And then once you are done, then you will go for the PhD.
Yeah. And by the way, PhD in Germany is fully funded. MA is not.
Yes, sir.
PhD is fully funded, not only for the Kandidat, auch für die Familie des Kandidats. So if you have a family and you're going to Germany with that family to do your PhD, all their costs will also be borne by the university funding.
So how? So sir, in order to get that thing done, you first have to submit your application, which research you are doing the PhD,
You have to
everything.
submit, no, you have to be in touch with the professor there who will accept you as a student.
Okay, okay.
Can you write to a university? He or she has accepted me and now I want to become a formal student of the university.
Okay.
So the professor or the teacher will be like the head of that concerned subject on which I want to do my PhD.
He'll be your guide, your supervisor. He is the one who knows the subject inside out, and he will be, or she will be guiding you or
Guiding.
telling you what you should be doing. But that is only on paper. They only tell you the lab is over there, the library is over there, and you have to do it. This is the reading list. See me after 2 months.
Okay.
See, it's actually it's very
He'll
simple.
give you just directions.
That's it. It's like a father or mother at home. Jara sabji leke aana market se.
Okay.
कौन सी सब्जी जो तुम्हें खाना हो, जो तुम्हें पसंद हो, कितनी लाऊं, सोचो कितना चाहिए होगा. So how do you select all that? You have to make your own decision here. It's a very bad example to give you, but then that's how it is. If you want to learn how to swim, you have to get into the water. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Not me. So you're literally thrown into the water. So in a way, ich bin also sehr glücklich, dass ich solche Lehrer hatte.
Und wie alt waren Sie?
Damals, also this is 40 years back.
Okay.
40 years back, I was in my late 20s, 26, 27. Believe me, it was frustrierend. Frustrierend. If you're asking me what depression means, ask me. I know what it means. And I've never, ever been a pessimistic person. Never. I've always been an optimistic person. But the kind of literally torture I went through, I know that. And now I'm happy I went through the torture. Ich habe was gelernt. Even today, you don't have to believe it. In the EFLU library, till I was here, I left the library when 89, 88, 89. I stopped going to the library here. Till that time, from 73 onwards, every German book that is in the library, that had come to the library, then about 30,000 of them, I still know where they are. It's a statement of fact. I'm not boasting. It's a statement of fact, like the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. That's ein Faktum. So it's a simple statement of fact. There's one student who came to me for help. He was formerly my student, then he joined this university here, EFLU, and the teacher here had given him a task of finding some book. So he came back saying, "Sir, wo kitab nahi hai library mein. I need your help and I need this book." I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Haan." I said, "Nahi ho sakta. It should be there in the library." Then I counted out the shelves to him. I said, "From the wall where the shelf number 1 stands, there'll be a number written on the side. Usko dekh lena. Please come to shelf number 3. In that row of shelf number 3, entire row, take the middle shelf, go to the middle shelf. ऊपर से तीसरे रो में roughly the 4th or the 5th book from the left होना चाहिए." He found it and he came back to me within 10 minutes. "Sir, मिल गई. आपको कैसे मालूम है किताब आ रखी है?" मैंने कहा, "जरा किताब खोल के तो देखो." He opened the book. In that issuing signature, my sign was there. only my sign, nobody else had borrowed that book. I said, ये लो. अरे सर सिर्फ आपने लिया और किसी ने नहीं लिया? I said, हाँ, ये तुमको सिर्फ मेरा सिग्नेचर काफी किताबों में दिखेगा. Then he said, I want to know, इसमें क्या है सर? ये मेरे को आप बता दीजिए इसमें क्या लिखना है क्या लिखना है. I said, that I refuse to say. I said, no, तो मैं नहीं पढ़ूँ. Here's a teacher who depends on you to use your knowledge, and I can't share what I learned with you, and then you cheat the teacher by giving my answer to him. That's not fair. तो खुद लिखो. I mean, all this was what was taught to me by my supervisors. I learned the German the hard way. Oh God. Kein Internet, kein Google. Da musste ich alles selber herausfinden. Alles. So when you look at this text here, er war erst 29 Jahre alt, 2 Doktortitel, not possible. Not possible. 19, you finish your Abitur and you become a medical doctor. Das dauert mindestens 4 bis 5 Jahre. Okay? Medical. So 19 plus 4 oder 5, 24. Noch 5 Jahre, 29. Und bis dahin hat er auch 196 Operationen durchgeführt.
Okay.
Now, this should make you suspicious. A doctor, you finish at the age of 26, then you have to do your PG degree, MD, MS, and so on. That's another 2 to 3 years. And you already performed so many operations. It should make you suspicious of the doctor. Right? So er konnte das 2 Doktortitel vorweisen und exakt 196 Operationen durchgeführt. Dann war die Traumkarriere des Christian E. vorbei. Diese Karriere war vorbei. Wieso? Der Anfang vom Ende, the beginning of the end, war ein anonymer Brief an die Polizei, der Ermittlungen auslöste. Dieser Brief löste Ermittlungen aus, investigations. It started off a series of investigations. Dieser anonyme Brief löste Ermittlungen aus. Und was kam zutage? That's a very interesting phrase here. Zutage kommen. Was bedeutet das zutage kommen? Tell me from here.
Sir,
काम
before
that it come to the day. मतलब खुलासा हो गया.
खुलासा हो गया. It was brought into the open. It was exposed. It came into the light of the day. Und was came into the light of the day? Ungeheuerliches.
Ungeheuerliches heißt?
You tell me. Das ist sowieso negativ, ne?
yeah, facts.
Right. So ungeheuerliches, something atrocious, something terrible, something like a calamity.
Calamity.
Yeah, the enormity, the monstrosity of the whole thing came out. A doctor without a degree. It's a big news in Germany. Probably these people will die when they come and see the doctors working here in Hyderabad or in India for that matter. I'm not talking about all doctors. I'm talking about those fly-by-night doctors who are there today and gone tomorrow. Because all pharmacists in India, they are doctors. Have you stood at any pharmacy in India and heard the conversation? The pharmacist is prescribing medicines to the people who come to buy medicine. They don't go and see the doctor. They trust the pharmacist.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Then why do you have a degree in pharmacology? Why do you have this course at all? Why should you study pharmacy? What's so? It's waste, no? Sheer waste. When you can work in a shop selling medicines, then you might as well become a part-time doctor there prescribing medicines. It's big news in Germany when some things like this happen. Aber in Indien, das ist ganz normal für uns.
Ja, Sir, so geht es in Indien.
Ja, ganz normal.
Das ist ganz normal.
Ganz normal. Und das weiß Anil, der kann das bestätigen. Ohne ein Rezept kann man viele Medikamente in Deutschland nicht kaufen.
Ohne Rezept.
Und auch Krankenversicherung, you need both. Many medicines you just cannot buy there. Here I just walk into a shop. I need some sleeping pills. क्यों साहब क्या हो गया आपको? अरे यार नींद नहीं आती है रात को, क्या करूं? थोड़े नींद की गोलियां दे दो. अच्छा बोलो, ये 3-4 स्ट्रिप दे दो ना मुझे, बार बार नहीं आना पड़ेगा. हाँ ले सर. Sleeping pills are suicide, means of suicide. They're means of murder. They can kill people with overdose of sleeping pills. That's not a problem. दे दो यार 50-100 तो दे दो, 10-15 स्ट्रिप दे दो मेरे को. Kein Rezept, Bargeld, man zahlt Bargeld und bekommt man die Tabletten. So when you read this, think about this, because this can also be a topic for talking. It can be a topic not only unter uns hier, auch mit Deutschen. But with Germans, don't present the negative side always. Huh? Try to defend our country. After all, we are India. I would defend our country. I normally tell them they have done some part-time diploma. So wie kann man so Tabletten so kaufen? Naja, der hat schon einen Kurs gemacht. Solche Kurse gibt es auch hier. Ach so, wusste ich nicht. Ja, das habe ich auch nicht gewusst. Be honest. Das habe ich auch nicht gewusst. Also, ich habe das neulich erfahren. End of discussion. Now to protect your country. Er besaß, look at this, Christian E. besaß ein Abiturzeugnis mit der Note 1,3. Look at the grades he's got. 1.3. Excellent. Yeah, I think Note 1 ist sehr gut. What is it? Oh, Note 5. Nein, Note 1. Dann hat er eine Promotionsurkunde. Zertifikat. Die Urkunde bedeutet das Zertifikat. So a doctoral certificate, die ihn zum Doktor der Medizin, der renommierten, see from where all he has got this, der renommierten Universität in Oxford machte. Renommiert bedeutet sehr bekannt, sehr berühmt. Eine renommierte Universität, eine renommierte Firma bedeutet a renowned firm or a renowned university. Ein renommierter Wissenschaftler, renowned scientist, also bekannter, berühmter. Renommieren hier, oder renommiert als Adjektiv, bedeutet bekannt oder berühmt. So he had a certificate showing him to be a doctor of medicine from the University in Oxford. Eine Approbationsurkunde der Regierung in Mittelfranken. What is approbation? Do you have an idea?
Approval.
Ja, Approval, Genehmigung. Ja, Genehmigung oder Zustimmung. So it's an approval for him to practice as a doctor. Unless you have that from the Medical Council of India, you can't practice as a doctor. I don't know whether you know that. The MCI in India has to issue a letter before you can practice as a doctor in India. So eine Approbationsurkunde der Regierung in Mittelfranken und obendrein eine Doktorurkunde der Wirtschaftswissenschaftlichen Fakultät der Uni Frankfurt. And above all that, a doctoral certificate from the Wirtschaftswissenschaftlichen Fakultät, from the economic faculty or the economics faculty of the University of Frankfurt. Don't think that this kind of falsification happens only in India. This kind of thing can be done even in foreign countries, in Germany, for example. Also, solche Urkunden hat er dann bewiesen. Oder er konnte solche Urkunden vorweisen, vorlegen. So, das bedeutet, ja, jetzt wer möchte dann weiterlesen hier?
Nach Angaben der Polizei waren alle Dokumente gefälscht, angeblich nicht einmal besonders gut, sondern sogar mit vielen Rechtschreibfällen. Tatsächlich hat Christian E. die Realschule mit der Note ausreichend in den Hauptfächern abgeschlossen und anschließend eine Lehre gemacht. An der Uni Erlangen ergatterte er mithilfe eines gefälschten Arbeitszeugnisses einen Studienplatz und studierte ein paar Semester Medizin. Das Studium brach er jedoch bald ab und bewarb sich mit 2 erfundenen Doktortiteln als Assistenzarzt an der Uniklinik Erlangen. Erfolgreich.
Erfolgreich. See the key word, huh? Danke, Abi. So according to the police, according to the data of the police, nach Angaben, alle Dokumente hier waren gefälscht. Angeblich.
Accidentally.
Seemingly, apparently.
Und Angaben bedeutet hier?
Angaben is a task.
Data.
Okay.
Data.
According to the data of the police, according to what they found out, the information. So, yeah,
Angeblich heißt, noch einmal bitte.
seemingly.
Das heißt ganz einfacher.
Also er gab sich angeblich als ein Polizist auf.
Apparently.
Apparently, allegedly. So-called. I mean, the way I could see it. Nicht einmal besonders gut. Sie waren gefälscht. They were all falsified. Seemingly, allegedly, not very well done, not very well falsified, sondern sogar mit vielen Rechtschreibfehlern. With lots of spelling mistakes. Tatsächlich hat Christian E. die Realschule mit der Note ausreichend in den Hauptfächern abgeschlossen und anschließend eine Lehre gemacht. Das ist die Wahrheit, also die einzige Wahrheit vielleicht. So he had indeed done this Realschule mit der Note ausreichend. Ausreichend hier bedeutet satisfactory. It's well below ausgezeichnet, sehr gut und gut. It's not excellent, ausgezeichnet. Nein. Das ist auch nicht sehr gut. Das ist auch nicht gut. Ausreichend. Say something like 40%, 50% or less than that. Mit der Note ausreichend in den Hauptfächern abgeschlossen, see? Realschule abschließen. Try to use such verbs when you talk about your own studies. Huh? Ich habe mein Schulstudium so und so abgeschlossen. It's better than fertig machen. Und anschließend eine Lehre gemacht. Anschließend, subsequently. And also finally, to a certain extent, also finally, if you want it in that sense, finally is also good enough. Good translation. Because following that, he did a Lehre. Yes, it is following that.
Lehre.
Lehre is also training. Remember, I told you, Realschule, dann macht man eine Training, eine Ausbildung macht man. So hier Lehre bedeutet Ausbildung, Training. Okay? So an der Uni Erlangen, also das ist eine kleine Stadt in der Nähe von München, nördlich von München, südlich von Bamberg. Das ist auch die Stadt und der Sitz von this company, Siemens. Siemens hat ihr Hauptsitz in Erlangen.
Erlangen ist ein Ort.
Ja, es ist ein Ort. Das ist eine Stadt in Bayern, nördlich in Bayern. It's somewhere in the middle between München and Würzburg. München liegt im Süden und Würzburg liegt oben im Norden. Somewhere in the middle between these two is Erlangen, very close to this town called Nürnberg. Anybody here historically informed? Nürnberg?
Nürnberg, es gibt eine bekannte Zoo in Nürnberg.
Why is it famous historically?
Ich weiß nicht.
Ja, Aditi?
Nein, ich weiß nicht auch.
Du wolltest was sagen, oder?
Nein, ich habe gesagt, vielleicht habe ich über dieses Wort einmal gehört.
Ja, Nürnberg, also das Wort ist, also der Name ist dir bekannt, ne? Nürnberg. Nürnberg ist auch eine Stadt. Yeah.
Something regarding the mountain, huh?
No. Nürnberg is a town. Yeah, there are mountains there in the region, yes. Ja, Abhi oder Achal, eine Ahnung von Nürnberg?
Ja, Sir. Das liegt in München eigentlich. Nähe von München.
Nee, in der Nähe von München, nördlich von München.
Yes.
Und das ist auch Erlangen ist der Sitz von Siemens. Nürnberg is famous or became famous after the Second World War für den Nürnberger Prozess. The Nuremberg trials in English, yeah, the Nürnberger Prozess, where all the war criminals, the Nazi war criminals, those who had committed the atrocities against the Jews, and those who were caught, they were put on trial here at the Nürnberger Prozess, right after the war. So that city is known for this. It's become a part of history.
Put on trial like putting them on that chambers and all.
They were sentenced to death, most of them, for having killed so many Jews.
Right.
For all the war crimes, they were punished. So an der Uni Erlangen, Ergattert, this is a very interesting word.
Ergattern is the verb, huh?
Yeah, Ergattern is a polite, is a very rough way of saying bekommen.
Bekommen.
Yeah, very rough way of saying bekommen.
That is like rude way, huh?
A very crude way, and it's a very direct way of saying, because in his case, das ist dann ergattern und nicht bekommen. If you read the sentence mit bekommen, it will give you that sense which I want. An der Uni Erlangen bekam er mit Hilfe eines gefälschten Abiturzeugnisses einen Studienplatz und studierte ein paar Semester Medizin.
It's like to grab, huh? Forcefully grab.
Yes, get hold of. So, in a way, get hold of is not entirely legal. No?
Yeah.
Oh, Entschuldigung.
Gesundheit.
Danke. So, Agatha, mit Hilfe, with the help. Oh, Entschuldigung, nochmal. With the help of a falsified Abiturzeugnis. Also sein Abitur hat er nicht abgeschlossen. He never had Abitur. He only did Realschule, which means only 10 years of schooling. So he got hold of a Studienplatz und studierte ein paar Semester Medizin. That was his knowledge, medical knowledge. Das Studium brach er jedoch bald ab. Abbrechen.
Yeah. To stop or to
Bring
halt, yeah.
Und bewarb sich mit 2 erfundenen Doktortiteln. Was ist ein erfundenen Doktortitel?
That is like he acquired the two found doctor titles.
Erfinden. Was ist ein Erfinden?
to discover to discover.
Das ist Entdecken, Abi. Entdecken. Das ist Erfinden.
To research,
To, dis-
Nein, to invent.
to invent.
to invent. Okay, invent. Yeah.
Sich bewerben.
Whether when to apply something. To apply.
Right.
Yeah.
So he applied with 2 invented doctorates, the titles of 2 doctorates, invented titles, bekam er eine Stelle als Assistenzarzt an der Uniklinik Erlangen. Erfolgreich. Very successfully, he managed to get a job as an assistant doctor at the hospital, University Hospital of Erlangen.
By showing what? Two
2
doctor titles.
invented titles.
Title.
So he showed that he's double doctorate or something.
Yeah. With titles that he invented for himself.
Okay.
For example, I am a specialist in the left ventricular atrophy or something. I'm specialized in that. Huh? What specialized? Well, I don't know. You are a doctor, but there are so many specializations that you have no idea what is what. So he invented 2 titles for himself, applied as for the post of assistant arts. Erfolgreich.
Sir, anschließend ist auch ein Konnektor.
Nee, das ist ein adverbialer Gebrauch hier.
Zum Beispiel, zuerst habe ich nach München gefahren, anschließend habe ich nach Berlin gefahren.
Anschließend habe ich dann die Fahrt nach Berlin unternommen.
Yes, sir. Also
Ja.
anschließend ist after that.
Yeah, after that, thereafter, subsequently.
Okay, sir.
Ja, und danach, man kann das auch mit danach so verbinden.
Okay, sir.
Also zuerst das und dann anschließend noch etwas. Zuerst das und danach was anderes.
Okay, sir.
See, it's more of a participle here. Just look at the word here, anschließend. Participe 1, no?
Yes, sir.
It's Partizip 1, anschließen ist das Verb. Und dann kommt anschließend, das Partizip 1 als Adjektiv hier. And it's an adverbial use here. Ja, okay, jetzt weiter. Wer möchte lesen?
Okay, ja.
Ah,
Über eine Jahre dauerte der persönliche Wahnsinn in Weiß von Christian E. bis in die Klinikleitung suspendierte.
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 Ja,
Okay, from Langgereiste Nürnberg führt Hürde er nun zu 3,5 Jahren auf die verurteilt,
Yeah.
wegen Urkundenfälschung, Betrugs und Teilmissbrauchs.
Yeah.
Vor Gericht gestand Christian alle Vergehen.
Mhm.
Er sagte aus, dass er nicht äh, mehr wisse, wann er begonnen habe, sein Umfeld zu belügen.
Yeah.
Christian, Christian war dreist und überzeugend genug, um Familie, Freunde, Kollegen und Patienten zu tauschen.
Mhm.
Bei auch, bei auch stabilen Spielen physio, physiopathisch, physiopathische Persönlich,
Psychopathische.
psychopathische Persönlichkeitsstörungen eine Rolle, erklärt Gerhard Stemmler, Professor für Physiologie an der Universität,
Mhm.
an der Universität
Mhm.
Marburg. Menschen, die daran leiden, stellen ihren eigenen Vorteil in den Mittelpunkt, Gefahren und Risiken für andere, wie sie bei falschen Ärzten ja durchaus vorkommen, spielen für diese Menschen keine Rolle, wie durch eine Untergang durch die Behandlungen des falschen Arztes niemand zu schaden.
Ja, also Gott sei Dank, dass niemand starb, während er operiert wurde. Also über ein Jahr dauerte der persönliche Wahnsinn in Weiß von Christian E. So, was ist das persönliche Wahnsinn dauerte über ein Jahr in Weiß?
Wahnsinn is senseful.
Nee,
Mad.
Madness.
Okay, Magnus. Yeah, yeah.
So, was bedeutet das Wahnsinn in Weiß?
Knowingly mad.
Okay, so über ein ganze Jahr,
Hm?
weiß ist ein Ort.
Weiß ist die Farbe.
Farbe.
In wise.
Ha. Wahnsinn in Weiß.
Er benahm sich wie insane und dann wird er suspendiert.
What does it mean actually? Why is this word madness in white?
Keine Ahnung.
Ganz einfach. Hier geht es um die Kleidung. Ein Arzt trägt fast immer einen weißen Kittel. Ne?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, was ist ein Kittel? Der Kittel.
Ah,
Gut.
Coat.
Overcoat. So, Wahnsinn in Weiß.
He was mad.
That madness in white. For 1 year, this madness in white went on. एक साल तक he worked as a doctor, as a wrong doctor, as a false doctor, as a pseudo doctor. Yeah, so this kind of pagalpana, एक साल तक चला. All he had to do was put on a white coat, and people would assume he's a doctor. That's why the German saying is there: "Kleider machen Leute." Clothes make the people. Und das kann ich auch bestätigen. I can prove that. There's a very famous hospital in Hyderabad called NIMS. National Institute of Medical Sciences.
Nimans.
NIMS, no, NIMS. NIMHANS is in Bangalore.
Yeah. Okay.
In Hyderabad, there's NIMS, National Institute of Medical Sciences. It's like the All India Institute of Medical Sciences in Delhi. It's a big hospital. So I had to go there, unfortunately, once with a friend who was very badly hurt. He had a slip disc, and I had taken him there. So I put him in the room in one side on a bed, and I asked for a doctor. They said the doctor is not available. That day, fortunately or unfortunately, I was wearing a white shirt and black trousers. And I was also wearing my shoes, black shoes. I normally move around in sandals. So I used that dress. I didn't realize it initially, looking for an orthopedic surgeon. He was not on that ground floor, that's the OPD. He was on the second floor. To go there, I had to walk through a corridor, pass many gates and securities to get to the second floor. So since I was wearing a white shirt and black trousers, and I was walking confidently, all the time looking at the signs as to where the orthopedic department is here. No? Just looking casually around and then head bent and pretended to be talking to myself. Most of the security people there saluted and opened the door for me. Okay.
Nice, Sharon.
Ja, also Sie haben angenommen, ich war auch Arzt. I had no time. My friend was in extreme pain. And to complete the formalities of writing the name and all that registration and so weiter, once I realized that this is happening, towards the end, just on the second floor, the security guy, he had never seen me before, obviously. He got up to stop me. Right? I noticed that, and I suddenly told him, sit down, just like this. It's a very rude gesture kind of thing. Sit, just sit. And with the other hand pointed to the door. This. So immediately saluted and opened the door. So I quickly went past him, didn't even acknowledge it because doctors don't do that. I can't go around saying good morning to everybody. I'm a doctor, no? I'm so busy with my thoughts. So went straight in, walked into the orthopedics room. He was surprised to see me, sitting just free, doing nothing. I told him I had sent a message for you. I'd asked the reception to contact you, please. No one told me anything. So I gave him the case. Introduced myself. It's Academica, it's Lera. And then there's a friend down there who's a professor and is very seriously hurt. And I'd like you to come and see him. And the reason I came here was because of this laxity. What kind of hospital is this? Oh, sorry, sir. I'll come with you. And he came with me. So, Kleider machen Leute. So, Wahnsinn in Weiß. It's madness in white. If you have a coat on or you have a stethoscope around you, you are considered to be a doctor. You're taken to be a doctor. Also Kleider machen Leute ist ein altes Sprichwort auf Deutsch. Wearing a policeman's uniform doesn't make you a police. So, über ein Jahr dauerte der persönliche Wahnsinn in Weiß von Castiani, bis ihn die Klinikleitung suspendierte. Then they suspended him. They found something fishy. Then they suspended him. That let an anonymous brief come. Vom Landgericht Nürnberg, Landgericht, the district court. Yeah, the district court, Nürnberg Fürth, for that district. Wurde nun zu 3,5 Jahren Haft verurteilt, 3.5 years of jail. Sentenced, verurteilen to sentence. Haft is imprisonment. Wegen, und jetzt kommt warum, kausal, Urkundenfälschung, Betrugs und Titelmissbrauchs. Wegen mit Genitiv, falsifying documents, certificates, cheating, and misuse of the doctoral title.
Urkunde?
Urkunde, also Certificate.
Certificate.
Die Urkunde. A birth certificate of Deutsch heißt
Evidence.
Geburtsurkunde. Die Geburtsurkunde. A marriage certificate, Heiratsurkunde oder Eheschein. Der Eheschein oder Heiratsurkunde. So document. Vor
Pardon,
Gericht,
Heirat, sir?
Heiratsurkunde, marriage certificate.
Heirat.
Marriage certificate.
Okay.
Oder Eheschein, der Eheschein. Das ist ein Synonym.
Eheschein. Okay.
Mhm.
So what is the
Das
normal?
ist auch Certifikat, Ehrschein.
Ja, Schein ist auch Certificate. Ja,
Welchem ist der normale Wort hier? Urkunde
beide,
or
beide.
Die
Beide.
beiden haben Marriage Certificate Bedeutung.
Ja, Heiratsurkunde oder Eheschein.
Okay.
Urkunde ist auch Verdict, Herr.
Nein. Verdict ist ein Urteil.
Urteil.
Urteil?
Das
Ja,
Urteil, that's a verdict.
wir haben schon gelernt.
Yes.
Urteil.
Ja, das haben wir gelernt, genau. So, vor Gericht, Gestand, das Verb ist gestehen. Gestehen ist das Verb, das ist kein Partizip. Ja, der Infinitiv heißt gestehen. Also vor Gericht gestand Christian E. alle Vergehen. He confessed, he admitted to all his crimes.
Sir, gestehen to confess.
Ja,
Vergehen ist confess.
Vergehen ist crime.
Oh, crime.
All his crimes, all his misdeeds, he confessed.
Sir, vergehen oder vergeh?
Vergehen.
Vergehen.
Sir,
Nomen.
Vergehen als Nomen ist auch Prozess, ja?
Nein, Vergehen hier als Nomen bedeutet all his crimes.
Was ist Konjugation von gestehen?
Gestehen, ich gestehe, du gestehst, er sie es gesteht.
Okay, regelmäßige Verben?
Ja, ganz regelmäßiges.
Okay.
Gehen, ne? Ich gehe, du gehst, er sie es geht, wir gehen, ihr geht, sie gehen.
Okay.
Right? All his offenses, all his criminal crimes, whatever he did, he confessed to all of them. Er sagte aus, Aussagen, to declare, to state. This is a legal terminology, a police terminology. He declared, he stated, dass er nicht mehr wisse, wann er begonnen habe, sein Umfeld zu belügen. He declared, also er wisse nicht mehr, Konjunktiv 1, wann er begonnen habe, sein Umfeld zu belügen. So he just doesn't remember when he started to tell a lie about his environment, his social environment. When did I start? I have no idea. I don't remember. When did I start with this? Absolutely no idea. Christian A. war dreist. This is a new verb, so new word, adjective here. He was very bold.
Dreist means bold.
Dreist, bold, very brazen. English word brazen. Brazen means not to be afraid of something and just be bold.
Selbstbewusst?
Nein. This is, it has a tinge of negative here. A tinge of negative. Like, for example, let's say a thief is trying to break into a shop. The police is coming and he pretends to sleep there outside that shop. So the police comes and asks him, what are you doing here? Sir, मैं ये दुकान में काम करता हूँ और सेठ ने बोला था ये काम खत्म कर लेना. तो आई फिनिश द वर्क. फिर सेठ आए, मैंने चाबी उनको दे दी. अब देर हो गई है, घर तो है नहीं मेरा कुछ. मैंने सोचा यहीं हो जाता, वैसे भी 2 घंटे में दुकान खुलने वाली है. So very boldly very brazenly, he told a lie to the police. So he was very brazen, B-R-A-Z-E-N, and überzeugend genug and convincing enough, Familie, Freunde, Kollegen und Patienten zu täuschen. To deceive Familie, Freunde, Kollegen und Patienten. So you can only do this, deceive people, if one is very brazen and very, very bold and convincing to do this. Bei Hochstapeleien, so sagt der Professor für Psychologie an der Universität Marburg, bei Hochstapeleien spielen häufig psychopathische Persönlichkeitsstörungen eine Rolle. Da gibt es diese Analyse. So with such cheats, with such swindlers, very often a psychopathic personality disturbance plays a role. So erklärt Gerhard Stendler, Professor für Psychologie an der Universität Marburg. Und er sagt weiter, Menschen, die daran leiden, stellen ihren eigenen Vorteil in den Mittelpunkt. In den Mittelpunkt stellen oder in den Mittelpunkt stehen. Beide Möglichkeiten gibt es. People who suffer from this personality disturbances, psychopathic, they place their advantage in the middle. Their advantage is more important. Gefahren und Risiken für andere spielen für diese Menschen keine Rolle. That there is a danger or risk to the other people spielt hier keine Rolle für diese Leute. Wie sie bei falschen Ärzten ja durchaus vorkommen. So you can't say, where is his conscience? How could he do this with the lives of others? Because of this personality disorder, they don't consider this as something that's a risk to the others. My advantage is what is important to me. Yeah, with many of these doctors or quacks, this is why it happens. Also, da kann man hier diese Frage gar nicht stellen. Also, wie kann er das machen? Wie hat er das gemacht? Ja, das ist eine Frage, die mit der wir sehr oft konfrontiert werden. अरे वो ऐसा कर कैसे सकता है? That's a question that doesn't arise with such people. If he had thought about कैसे कर सकता हूँ, then he would not have done it. Because the question has arisen with you, you will not do it. You feel guilty. So they have no such guilt conscience at all. Yeah, because it's a personality disorder. You know this guilty conscience, what it means? We have done the word earlier.
Yeah.
Schlechtes Gewissen. Remember?
Gewissen.
Yeah, schlechtes Gewissen. Yeah.
Bad conscience, bad conscience.
Bad conscience, guilty conscience. Also sie haben überhaupt kein schlechtes Gewissen. कि ऐसा मैं क्यों कैसे कर सकता हूँ? Like चोरी करना पाप है, झूठ बोलना पाप है, किसी का कत्ल करना पाप है. Das spielt für mich keine Rolle. इसमें मेरा फायदा होना चाहिए. Das steht im Mittelpunkt. Mein Vorteil, mein eigener Vorteil, das steht im Mittelpunkt. And that's a personality disorder. And then the last sentence, wie durch ein Wunder kam durch diese Behandlungen des falschen Arztes niemand zu schaden. It's like a magic, like wonder that many people, they survived, they came through all the treatments of this doctor, this quack, this wrong doctor, pseudo doctor, without any harm. So it's an interesting text with the loads of vocabulary, information, background information. And more importantly, I'm very happy that we don't have to feel guilty about having such people in our country. Solche Gauner, Criminals, solcher Gauner, solcher Hochstapler gibt es überall in der Welt.
Jhola Chap Doctor. Yes, sir.
Ja, ja, genau.
What?
Genau.
Was hast du gesagt, Abhi?
Jhola Chap Doctor.
Chola acha. Munna bhai.
Aber es gibt so viele bei uns.
Jawohl. Also nicht nur Ärzte. Also es gibt solche Gauner, solche Hochstapler in verschiedenen Feldern.
Ja, richtig, Sir.
Es kommt darauf an, wie man sich täuschen lässt. How you let yourself be deceived. So it's a question of being deceived. You know, there's a saying in English. Also für jeden Hochstapler gibt es einen Trottel. For every cheat in the world, there is at least one person who is ready to be cheated by this cheat. At least one person will fall for this person's deceit.
Sir, was bedeutet Hochstapelien?
Hochstapler, Schwindler.
Okay, sir.
A confidence man, a con man, somebody who tricks you. ये आप अभी मेरे को तुम वो 100 रुपए का नोट दो, इसको मैं 200 में बदल के देता हूँ.
Okay, sir.
Und das mache ich. Das mache ich. ठीक है? Dann sage ich weiter, आप ये मुझे 5 200 के नोट दे दो, इसको मैं 1000 में बदल दूंगा.
Okay, sir.
या मेरे को इसके 10 नोट दे दो, मैं 2000 का आपको एक नोट बदल के देता हूँ. Zum Beispiel. Also das ist dann Hochstapeln, Schwindel.
Wo gibt es das Wort?
Ja, Hochstapeln, also das steht am Ende, ne? Das ist dann... wo ist das?
15 und 20.
18. Zeile 18. Bei Hochstapeleien, Hochstapelei, das ist dann die Arbeit, dieser Trick.
Ja.
Ein Hochstapler is the trickster, this confidence person. Oh, es gibt so viele jetzt who come to you that they'll double your money and they'll do this, they'll do that. Also ich glaube an solchen Leuten nicht. Meine Frau glaubt daran nicht. Aber es gibt bestimmt irgendwo eine Person, die an diesen Leuten glaubt und verliert sein Geld. So there's a nice saying also. Wait a minute, let me think about it. Hochstapel, also es gibt einen Trottel, es gibt immer einen Trottel, there's always some fool somewhere. Die Dummen werden nicht alle, so heißt es. Ja, die Dummen werden nicht alle. There is one fool born every minute.
There is one fool?
Born every minute. So you just have to be convincing. that the text now you have to solve here. And not only that, here, what is given as more than, I'm not interested in so much in this exercise here. Spart sein Urteil, also 3,5 Jahre and so on. I'm interested in this exercise. Was passt zusammen? Also Verben zu den Nomen. Oh, schon, die Zeit, wir haben die Zeit überschritten. Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, so sorry. Just a little bit. There's light in my eyes, now I can't see the, yeah, okay. So sorry. So, jetzt, da machen wir Schluss. Vielleicht diese Übung nehmen wir dann morgen wieder auf. Und dann gehen wir weiter. Und morgen brauche ich dich, Avi, unbedingt.
Yes.
Ich brauche dich für diese Audios.
Okay, sir.
Die Audios werden dann morgen bei uns kommen, eine Reihe von Audios hier. So I'd like to do these audios tomorrow. Plenty of vocabulary. If you think it's boring, we'll go to the next lesson. Ich habe kein Problem. But audios I would like to hear, please.
Okay, sir.
And there's loads of them towards the end. Hier. Aussprachen. Wortakzente, Kompositor, dreiteiliger Kompositor, Zeugenaussageprotokoll, Jugendkriminalitätsrate, Gesetzesvorlagentext, Reisekostenabrechnung. And now you have, this is interesting. I would like you to learn pronunciation of such words.
Oh my God.
Gesetzänderungsentscheidungsvorlage. Die Gesetzänderungsentscheidungsvorlage. Die Änderungsentscheidungsvorlage, die Gesetzänderungsentscheidungsvorlage. So, where will you put the Betonung hier? Hauptbetonung. Is it the Gesetzänderungs- oder die Gesetzänderungsentscheidungsvorlage oder die Gesetzänderungsentscheidungsvorlage? Where will the accent come? When you use words like this is where you are speaking.
This is sales.
Das ist Deutsch. Also hier brauchen wir dann das Audio. Die Treppenhausreinigungsordnung. You know what it is? Die Treppenhausreinigungsordnung.
Treppenhausreinigungsordnung.
Rules for cleaning the staircase.
Was ist das? Rules for?
Cleaning the staircase in a multi-storied building. How do you clean the staircase?
Okay.
Yeah,
Ordnung.
Yeah, der Kaffeeautomaten Reparatur Service.
Automatic repair service.
Na. Repair service for the coffee machine.
Okay, sir.
See, now you speak German. When you use such long words, that is when you say, ja, ich kann Deutsch. So tomorrow we'll try to see if we can reach this place and or come to this part and listen to the audios.
Sir, können wir sagen Aufschwungsrate, Recovery Rate?
Ja, in welchem Sinne meinst du das?
Zum Beispiel Aufschwungsrate des Viruses ist niedrig geworden.
Das?
Ja, Sir, Aufschwungsrate